Dave Neilson, Fantasy Sports Giant, coming back to you with my fantasy preview for Week 2 in the segment, Who's Going the Pay Window? That's right, 5 guys who are going to break out this week. I'm going to start with running back in Seattle, Carson, going against the San Francisco 49ers. He outsnapped Eddie Lacy last week and C.J. Prosise. I know he only had 6 carries for 39 yards. That doesn't wow anybody. Thomas Rawls did not play. He'll be expected back this week. However, I think Carson has a good chance to have some big gains here in this game against a favorable matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. More of a timeshare, I think, with him and Rawls. I think he's already proven that should happen. So I like Carson this week. Also, I'm going to go with quarterback Jacoby Brissett. I know most people don't need a quarterback right now, but Brissett could have a big game this week against the Arizona Cardinals. Look, last week, Scott Tolzien, horrible game for the Colts against the Rams. Brissett will be the starter this week, and he should have a good matchup here. He's got some talent around him with T.Y. Hilton and Dante Moncrief, Frank Gore, and the rookie Marlon Mack running the ball behind him, and his security blanket and Jack Doyle. So I like Brissett this week. I'm also going to go with tight end Evan Engram, going against the Detroit Lions. Last week, Evan Engram, 4 receptions, 54 yards. However, I think he is still going to be a focal point in this offense for the Giants. Beckham might be back this week. Could be used as a decoy. I don't think he's 100% yet. I think this could open things up for Evan Engram as well. Also, I'm going to go ahead and go with wide receiver Kendall Wright for the Chicago Bears. Kevin White, once again, injured 3rd season in a row. I think somebody's got to catch the ball there, so I'm going to go ahead with Kendall Wright going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like that matchup as well. Also, I'm going to double down, and I'm going to go with wide receiver Brandon Coleman. Last week, I said he would get it done against the Vikings. He did not. However, I'm going to go ahead one more time here, going against the 32nd ranked pass defense with the New England Patriots. Look, if they couldn't get any pressure on Alex Smith last week, imagine what's going to happen with Drew Brees and all that time. I like Brandon Coleman this week. I think he finally gets it done. I think he finally gets that big game we've been waiting for now, his 3rd season, breakout season for him. I expect him to get it done. And also, if you want to dig deep for a tight end, look no further than Virgil Green for the Denver Broncos. I think Dallas will try to stop those 2 wide receivers in Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas. That'll open things up underneath for Virgil Green. This has been Dave Neilson, your Fantasy Sports Giant. Who's going the pay window? Brandon Coleman, Evan Engram, Jacoby Brissett, Carson, and Kendall Wright. And digging deep there, go with Virgil Green. This has been Dave Neilson, Fantasy Sports Giant. Stay tuned for more fantasy previews.